I am glad I made it this week because I really thought, y'all, like I was not going to be able to make a video. Tell me why people invited themselves over to my house. I was supposed to be chilling. I was supposed to be freeloading this year for Thanksgiving, but no. People want to invite themselves over last minute to my house. And I'm like, what y'all gonna eat? Because I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing for y'all. So I wound up doing all these errands, getting things ready the night before to serve Thanksgiving. But anyways, that's about me. How was y'all Thanksgiving? Comment down below. Tell me what crazy situation went on Thanksgiving. And I am so thankful nonetheless that I was able to have a Thanksgiving because there's some people out here locked up not able to celebrate Thanksgiving. And thank you, Judge, for saving our booty holes once again. The day is saved thanks to this judge right here. So when we was all having Thanksgiving dinner and all that, the courts have decided not to release Diddy, okay? Our cheeks are not going to be spread. We're saved, okay? We're going to go into why they didn't release him because there was like a little situation where there was a couple of situations while we was gone. One of the situations was that, remember in the last video, I was talking about how they raided Diddy's cell and they found some notes. Well, those notes were up for inspection, I shall say, because the government took those notes and they went through due processes to get it evaluated in the correct channels, right? And then Diddy's lawyers turned around and was like, Your Honor, no, those were actually legal notes that were not supposed to be seen by the government because that is infringing on our rights. So Diddy's lawyers come up and show them the legal pad that Diddy wrote his notes in that said legal. Now, if you're in jail, you have certain rights. So in order to protect those rights, you're supposed to write like legal on the things that people are not able to see because those are your documents for the legal proceedings up ahead, right? Nobody's supposed to be seeing those. You have lawyer and client privileges, so you have to write down on the things that are supposed to be protected or confidential, legal on them, right? So Diddy's lawyers go up to the judges like, our thing says legal on there. They was like, they quite literally was like, know what we gonna do? This is legal, Your Honor. This is legal. It says legal pretty clearly. So the judge is like, all right, that was the fault of the government. Y'all need to destroy this evidence right now. And it was up for debate since then, right? They kind of left it at that. When the judge went back to look at both the pictures, the first picture, the pad does not say legal on it. And the second picture that Diddy's lawyers gave to the judge said legal. So now the judge is like, wait, so this must mean that you have written legal after you found out the information that they raided Diddy's jail cell and got hold of this information. Now this is looking kind of sus. Like, you're doing everything to make it seem like the government is conspiring against Diddy and they not giving him his rights, which this is not the case. So the judge brought that out the following hearing when they were there to discuss his bail, right? Now, during this bail hearing, the judge heard both sides. It was kind of basically the same information. What he really wanted to know is why the government decided to use the Cassie's tape in which like it was like cut out scenes. And their reasoning behind that was because it was the most vetted and it was already public. So they didn't have to go through the legal channels trying to get it approved. It was already public. Everybody saw it. The cutout scenes really didn't like account for much. And Diddy's legal team was like, hey, Your Honor, this is an improper video to use because Diddy did not throw the vase. He actually just threw the contacts inside the vase. So it just makes it seem like they're just trying to go at Diddy for no reason, Your Honor. And the judge is just like, either way, it was pushing, there was dragging, there was a throwing. It doesn't matter if it was the actual vase or the fucking pebbles in it. Like, he still was abusing Cassie. So there was a lot of issues, and Diddy's team is working overtime trying to get him out, and it's just not working. So we're gonna go into how this judge saved our booty cheeks. The things that they really had to consider. There was 4 things the judge had to consider. I'm reading this from my notes. He had to consider the nature and circumstance of the offense charge. When they did the bail hearing, another consideration that the judge made is the case with the Abercrombie and Fitch, I believe, CEO, where he also was with the models that he was recruiting. Now, he was released mainly because he had no other charges against him. This was the first time he actually been arrested. He actually went to jail. He actually got in trouble, okay? With Diddy, it's harder because not only did he get in trouble a couple of times, but this is a whole RICO case. Like, there's different people they have to talk to. It's a whole industry that Diddy made, okay? With the Abercrombie, I hate that word, Abercrombie and Fitch guy, it was kind of like he had one business partner and he was using his business partner and the business to tunnel all these people in. It's not a RICO case. It's not a whole industry. It's like 1-2 people that was using the business to do this. It's more like a white collar crime. I'll characterize that, even though it's under the same umbrella of Diddy, if that makes sense. I'm not a legal person, okay? I'm just trying to make sense. I'm just a person in fucking the projects trying to explain a legal case, okay? That's why I am right now, okay? But anyways, they also had to consider that. The second thing they had to consider is the weight of the evidence against Diddy. Third thing was history and characteristics of the person. That's where Diddy winds up getting in trouble, because there's a lot of things that Diddy did that shows his true character, and it seems to be a repetitive thing. It's just not like 1-2 things. It's just like all his life, this is Diddy, okay? The nature and the seriousness of the danger that will be posed by the person's release. Now, when I heard all these things that the judge has to consider, I was like, ooh, Diddy is not coming out, because he has shown time and time and time again he would do anything and everything to get ahead, even if it's illegal, okay? So, just as I thought, he ain't getting out. And I wonder what he ate for Thanksgiving, because that jail food is not good. It's not good. They was over here doing press about what he's eating for his birthday. No, I want to know what he ate for Thanksgiving, because we're going to read some documents. Quick, fast, easy. And we're going to find out what the judge came up with. So one of the things that the judge came up with, and one of the things, reasons why Diddy was denied, was because of the serious and violent crimes. It says, it alleges that for decades, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire, which is where RICO comes in, that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, amongst other crimes, sex, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Boom. That was one of the reasons, and that falls under what did he have to consider? If Diddy was released, the nature and seriousness of the danger that will be imposed by the person's release because he has other people working under him to do as he pleases. One of the other things he had to consider was the video, the Cassie video, that literally shows Cassie getting beat. And the text messages following after it. I have a black eye, a fat lip. You are sick for thinking it's okay to do what you've done. I still have crazy bruising. And the reason why I think the judge brought this up is because Diddy's lawyers tried to say, hey, this was a crazy, normal, almost toxic relationship. The toxicity was on both hands, and this is just like normal. But the judge was like, well, first of all, he apologized for this. So how can you say this was like a normal, toxic on both sides relationship when Diddy apologized for it, one, and two, there's text messages proving it is one-sided. So that was another thing he had to consider. And that fell into the weight of evidence against Diddy and the history and characteristics of Diddy's personality. There is evidence supporting a serious risk of witness tampering. I don't know why Diddy decided to do this and think he would get away with it while in jail. That doesn't just make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. For example, Combs initiated and had unexplained communications with witness one. And during the trial, Diddy's judges also was like, well, Diddy listens to us. We said to stop speaking to witness one, and he listens, blah, 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 blah. But they could not explain why certain text messages were deleted. They had no recollection of these text messages. So it was kind of like, yeah, you can say all you want that he listens, but it clearly shows you are not keeping an eye on him, one, and two, he's going above your head regardless, okay? So this just is a proof of that. Unexplained communications with witness one, who was subpoenaed to testify before the grand jury on June 2024. Combs was represented by counsel during this time, and they have offered an explanation for some of the communications on document 80, but they could not explain them all. For example, Combs offers to call and text witness one even after his grand jury testimony. Or in another instance, Combs deleted text messages with this witness. And that fell into history and characteristics of the person yet again. There's evidence that Combs violated Bureau of Prison regulations during the pretrial detention to obscure his communications with third parties. We already explained that last video where he was using other inmates' PAC numbers to call out people that wasn't even on his list of people he could communicate to. So that was an issue. Again, he will do everything and anything legally or illegally. The courts makes no determination that the content of Combs' communication through these channels are improper. However, his willingness to skirt BOP rules in a way that would make it more difficult for his communications to be monitored is strong evidence that the court cannot be reasonably assured as to the sufficiency of any conditions of release. So he fucked that up for himself. Moving on. The court further notes that it held an emergency hearing on November 19th to address the government's usage of the notes on the legal pads recovered from Diddy's bunk during a sweep at the MDC. At the hearing, defense counsel advised all these legal pads say legal. Yes, they're marked legal, Your Honor. After the hearing, the court inquired why, in light of counsel's representation that the notes at issue were on legal pads, that were clearly marked as legal. Photographs taken during the sweep show no such label. So basically, they're saying that Diddy's lawyers was like, yes, these documents say legal, like I explained before. But when they look back on the picture that was taken when they actually did the raid, the books were not marked legal. So it seems as if they was like, hey, they found these documents and we actually made a huge mistake. We forgot to put legal on these documents. So let's just do that right now so they can't use it against us. That's what it seems like they did. When asked, hey, how did this happen? How did this misrepresentation of these documents happen? The lawyer was like, I'm not too sure. Basically. But in a very professional way, okay? Just not the getaway, the very professional way. And the judge was just like, don't let this happen again. Okay? Moving on. Like I was saying before, they also had to consider why Diddy's case is different than the Jeffries case, the Abercrombie and Fitch guy. So it says, the United States versus Jeffries, while the government raised danger, its principal concern with respect to the defendant, Michael Jeffries, was flight. He had no criminal history. He alleged criminal conduct which did not involve the kind of violence or RICO allegations made in Diddy's case today, abated nearly a decade ago, and Jeffries is 80 years old. Okay, so not only did Jeffries not have a RICO case, not only was he not violent, not only did he have no criminal history, but this was nearly a decade ago, and he's 80 years old. So with Diddy, it's a little bit different because he has allegations of leading up until like 2 years ago. It wasn't like 10 years ago and that was the first time ever and last time ever. It's, hey, like up until like 2 years ago, he was out here smashing cheeks, okay? So we cannot release him. He was out here smashing cheeks. He was fighting whoever he needed to fight. He was telling his people to go get that person, kidnap them, and bring them over here. He was doing all this craziness up until 2 years ago. This is why he's locked up now. So, yes, thanks to this guy, half of y'all booty cheeks are saved, okay? Round of applause. Round of applause. And I'm so happy. That I was able to push out this video to you guys, even though it was fast and quick. But I really do enjoy this. And if you want to see some more, like, comment, subscribe. I also have a vlogging channel, which one of my resolutions is to do more vlogs. Whether it be like small mini vlogs or whatever. I feel like when I'm on camera, I'm held accountable for my own life. I hope that you follow me on there. If vlogs is not your thing and this is just your thing, you know, commentary, follow me here. You know what I'm saying? So I have all that information down below. If you want to follow me, please do so. I need some more followers and I'll see you next time.